Keeseekoweenin. I'm Chief Norman Bone from Keeseekoweenin Reserve, and I want to talk a little bit about our journey going ahead in Treaty 2. One of the important things that I guess that we have to pay attention to within not only our reserves but within the whole region of Treaty 2 is this issue around governance. We have to remind ourselves that originally, as Anishinaabe people, we had the ability to govern ourselves, and we did that for thousands of years. In these days with reserve life, we have to carry on with that memory of governance and find a way as to how we deal with governance in going forward. Again, same within our reserves, we got to govern our reserves and manage our reserves. And as a group of people living within a treaty area like Treaty 2, we have to join up with other leaders and also talk about governance and share with each other how we're going to govern ourselves as a group. One of the key things that we have to do right now is a pile of work on constitutional work. And I know on one hand it looks like we're falling prey to doing some write-ups, just like many other entities within, this corporate world we know as Canada. But for our own interest and for our own protection, we've got to do some work on creating our own constitutions, then bring them together as a larger group. We also have to share our journey with all the other areas. There's treaties within Treaties 1 to 11. We have to start telling our story as to what we're doing as Treaty 2. With Treaty 1 as a neighbor, Treaty 3, 4, and as you look west, all of those areas that way. They've done a lot of work also, and it'd be a good time to begin that exchange with each other in order to protect, again, as the same objective, protect our total region, which is all central, which we know is central Canada. We also have to participate, and which has already started, being visible at the international scene, in connecting ourselves with the United Nations. If we take our flags there, we just have to go and deliver the message that we have not gone anywhere as Anishinaabe within this area of Canada. One of the other things that we have to do as First Nations in each reserve, it's unfortunate we got held up within each specific reserves within the area, but we all have unfinished business that we have to share with each other in terms of identifying what that unfinished business is with, and talking about it as a group, and how do we proceed as a group to advance and finish that whole agenda item as unfinished business with Canada. Lots of land. We probably have lots of land claims yet. We still have to do an inventory of all of them, and maybe working with an organization like TAR to do the research for us. We have land that's not taken up, but we have to take a look at this Crown land issue. We have to take a look at how do we maintain a connection or control over all of those lands that the settlers have not used, or not using, or not going to use. We also have to pay attention to immigration. Immigration has been happening, as part of our legacy, and we have to get to that table and really participate and say to Canada that we need to be involved in any kind of an immigration discussion. This whole business about Manitoba selling the lands without our participation. Sending letters to our band offices is not just enough. We have to meet with the Premier. We should be talking with that government, saying, hey, here's the strategy as to how we need to participate in the sharing of all those lands, because we never gave them up. We never gave them away either. We never sold them either. Another key area that we have to begin talking about, not only right within our own communities, which I know is already happening, but in a regional level, we have to talk about finances, or the transfer payment exercise. How do we handle all the money? How do we go forward in handling all the money that Canada and the provinces making, or I'm not sure if they're making it available, if that's the right term, but all the money that we need them to transfer to us so that we can deliver and carry out our own business. These are some of the things that we have to discuss as leaders. Not only as leaders, but we have to discuss them in our various committees and communities that we've already have set up. I think in going forward, we got to have a good discussion on all of these matters so that you can have input in terms of saying what we need to do or what we need to resolve for ourselves, because we're not going anywhere. As Anishinaabe people, we're currently confined to the reserves, but also it's a treaty area. We have to sit and get together and move on ahead. And we have to also educate our children, our youth, through our schools, or whatever process we want to use in terms of getting them involved to have a say in what goes on in our world ahead of us. Those are some of the comments that I wanted to make with our work in Treaty 2. I think there's no road going back. There's a road going ahead. And we have to get onto that journey, and we have to participate in working with each other. We have to not be afraid when we're moving ahead, how we create our organizations or our structures so that we can adjust them to the times that we're dealing with when we're trying to carry out our business. This business, for example, about tribal councils and other legal entities within our control as chiefs and as reserves, should not be afraid of this development. They should be actually participating with our discussion so that we can move forward and have the work being carried out by them. We don't have to redo anything. Those are just some of the comments I wanted to make in going forward in Treaty 2. Very much.